Ohio State is absolutely loaded entering the 2024 season. Are the Buckeyes priming themselves for a run back to the top of the Big Ten mountain?
From LA to Piscataway, all Big Ten all year long. This is Big Ten 10.
If you don't like high expectations, I'm not sure Columbus, Ohio is the place to coach or the place to play within the college football universe, because not only are high expectations a yearly thing at Ohio State, this season, expectations are at an all-time high because Ohio State is that team that you pinpoint every year. Where's the team when you look around the country at a team that could possibly make a run for a national championship? Where's that team that brings a lot of experience back? Guys that have been through the battles, guys that have been through the wars, that have been there, that have done that return a coaching staff. Ohio State is that team. They are bringing almost everybody back in 2024. And those expectations, those always high expectations in Columbus, Ohio, are going to be higher than the highest ceiling that we've ever seen in Ohio State. This is and could be one of the best teams we've seen at Ohio State in recent memory, at the very least in the Ryan Day era. When you look at Ohio State's schedule in 2024, it steers into their favor as well. They do not have any difficult games whatsoever on their non-conference schedule, with Akron, Western Michigan, and Marshall at home to start this season. And then when you kind of look into this retooled Big Ten schedule, 18 teams in the conference, a 9-game divisionless schedule with these West Coast teams, your toughest games for Ohio State are going to be at Oregon. Man, that is going to be an absolute clash. Those, to me, right now, are the top two teams in the Big Ten as we enter 2024. And then you travel to Penn State a little bit later in the season. Could Penn State get a little bit more spiced up on offense with Andy Kotelnicki as their offensive coordinator? Sure, absolutely. But overall, I believe Ohio State is a more talented team. And when we talk about expectations, the expectations and the pressure is going to be at an all-time high when we talk about the yearly Ohio State versus Michigan matchup, because Michigan is losing all of those pieces. They could be losing their coach. They could be losing their coaching staff. And this game is in Columbus. And, of course, you factor in with what I said and what this video is all about, Ohio State's returning talent. Ryan Day, there has never been more pressure, more expectations to win the game at the end of the year than maybe there is entering this 2024 season. Let's dive into personnel, shall we? Because when I really look at Ohio State for 2024, this might not be, kind of like it was this past year, this might not be your prototypical Ohio State team. When I look at the Buckeyes for 2024, holy cow, do they have a three-headed monster in the backfield. Quarterback Will Howard, the transfer from Kansas State. We saw what we had in Devin Brown, Lincoln Kienholz. It's fair to say that was not going to be the future of Ohio State football. So you go into the portal and you grab a good quarterback. Maybe not great. We'll see if he can be that in this offense. But a good quarterback, what I believe is an upgrade over Kyle McCord at quarterback. And Will Howard brings an added dimension that Kyle McCord certainly didn't bring to this offense, that I don't know if Ohio State has had in this offense for some time, the running dimension. Will Howard was very good. Design runs, read plays, RPOs, things like that. That's a dimension that the Buckeyes haven't had in this offense for some time. About 350 yards and 9 touchdowns last season on the ground. At Kansas State over there in Manhattan in the Big 12 Conference. And then when we look at the backfield, this might be, scratch that, it will be the best backfield in the Big 10 Conference next season. When Trevion Henderson is healthy, he is as dynamic and explosive as they come. And then you pair him with Quinshon Judkins coming over from Ole Miss. This might be the best backfield in all of college football this season upcoming in 2024. Here's some stats that might blow your mind a little bit, or at least impress you. If you combine these three guys and their numbers, their rushing numbers last season, just these three guys, it would have been the 14th best rushing offense in FBS last year. Also, Judkins rushed for 400 yards less in 2023 than he did in his freshman season in 2022. Henderson rushed for 300 yards less in his 2023 season than he did in his freshman season a couple of years back. So these guys had really good years last year, but they've had even better years. This is going to be a rushing attack that is going to be towards the top in all of college football. And I believe Ryan Day and Brian Hartline need to lean into that a little bit. They need to lean into that run game. This is going to be the best dimension of your offense next season in Columbus, Ohio, which means your offensive line needs to be better. It was a young O-line this past season. Those players need to develop throughout this offseason and into this spring period. If this Ohio State maybe offense wants to reach the heights that they believe they can reach next season, guys like Donovan Jackson, Carter Hinsman, and Josh Simmons as well. All right, let's shift to the defensive side of the football. For as much as Ohio State is bringing back on offense, that defense is slated to once again be one of the very best in college football. First, we start on this defensive line. You saw Jack Sawyer in that bowl game wreak havoc on that Missouri pass protection unit. JT Tuimaluo is coming back as well. That is going to be a dynamic as good as it gets pass rush in all of college football next season. And then you have guys like Tyleik Williams and Ty Hamilton up the middle that are going to make a difference right up the middle in that defensive line. This is going to be one of the best defensive lines in America next season. I am very confident in saying that. It's at the linebacker position where they're going to need to identify as we work through the offseason, as we work through the spring. Jim Knowles and the defensive staff, they're going to have to work on who is going to be those guys to step up at the linebacker position, to flow to the football, to be those guys in that run defense that's going to make a difference. Because when you lose a Steel Chambers, when you lose an all-timer at Ohio State and Tommy Eichenberg, defending Big Ten linebacker of the year, you're probably going to take a little bit of a dip. But when you have what you have on the defensive line in the secondary, which we'll get to in just a minute, I think you're going to be okay. Cody Simon is good, 57 tackles last season. I think they're expecting a lot. C.J. Hicks, five-star linebacker from the recruiting class a couple of years back. There are high expectations, and 2024 is the year where they're expecting C.J. to possibly step up into that role. When you look at this secondary, a secondary, by the way, that was the top passing defense in all of college football last season, giving up just under 146 yards per game through the air. Denzel Burke, Davison Igbinison at corner. You look at Jordan Hancock, Lathan Ransom, and Sonny Styles all back at the nickel and the safeties. You can say it once, you can say it again and again and again, but it's not going to be enough times. The amount of talent that Ohio State has coming back, there aren't any excuses at this point. There's no excuses for them not to be in contention for the Big Ten championship in 2024. There are no excuses for them to be in a playoff spot and compete for a national championship in 2024. I've been so impressed with what Jim Knowles has done on the defensive side of the ball. This 2024 team has the potential to be one of the best Ohio State defenses that we've seen in recent memory. Buckeye fans, hold on to Jim Knowles. Who knows how much longer you're going to have him if he keeps on producing talent like this on the defensive side of the football. I'm excited to see what Ohio State has in store for 2024. What do you guys think? Do you think the Buckeyes are going to be on this level, get back to the mountaintop in the Big Ten? Or are they maybe going to fall a little bit short? Are they maybe being a little bit overhyped? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'm Big Ten Ted. We'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching Big Ten Ted, where it's all Big Ten all year long. Make sure to like the video to spread the word of Big Ten Ted to the masses, and subscribe to the channel for updates on Big Ten content that drops every day.